I am Odysseus, coming from the Trojan War.
Hello, Odysseus. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Alright.
How did you get away from the goddess Calypso?
Well, Zeus told Calypso to let me go. So Calypso did, and she gave me the tools to build a ship, and I sailed back to Ithaca.
What happened with the Cyclopes? How did you escape them?
Me and my men were sick and tired of Polyphemus eating our men. So one night we got him drunk, used his own weapon against him, sharpened it, made it a little smaller because he was 10 times our size, plunged it in his eye, and before this we had a plan where I introduced myself as nobody, so he said, "Nobody hurt me, nobody stabbed me." So the Cyclopses were confused, and we got away nice and swiftly under his sheep.
How did you escape from Scylla and Charybdis?
Well, Scylla and Charybdis were both having to do with the sea. Scylla was a sea monster, and Charybdis was a vortex. So we kind of maneuvered through Charybdis's vortex, not having to sacrifice our whole boat and any of our men. But then when we came to Scylla, I knew we would lose some men. I just didn't know it'd be 6 of our finest men.
Sorry to hear that they were your finest men.
It's alright.
How did you escape from the Sirens?
Well, the Sirens, they weren't hard to escape from because all they did was sing to lure you into their island and crash. So what I did was roll beeswax up into nice smooth surfaces and stuck them into my men's ears so they couldn't hear.
Smart.
Yep.
Simple idea, but very smart.
Yeah.
How did you get your men to come home after eating the lotus plants?
See, what the lotus plants did were I guess you could say they made you forget home. They made you unworthy of yourself and unsure of yourself. So what I had to do was tie my men to the boat and force them to row home.
So, now I'm going to ask you a few questions about when you were actually home from Ithaca.
Okay.
Who helped you get home from Ithaca after all those years?
It was the Phaeacians and the seafarers that helped me. Basically.
Kind men.
Yes, they were kind.
How did you know about the situation in Ithaca? Like, who was the one that informed you?
It was my
suitors?
Yeah, sorry. It was my faithful swineherder, Eumaeus. He told me all about it.
Okay. When you revealed your identity to Telemachus, your son, why didn't he believe you?
Telemachus didn't believe me because the way Athena cleaned me up. He mistaked me for a god.
So, with whose help did you kill all the suitors, and about how many suitors were there?
With my son Telemachus's help, and my faithful swineherder Eumaeus, and servants, then there was about over 100 suitors.
So, who was Argus, and why did he mean so much to you?
Argus was my faithful dog. He was from my youth, and I thought he had the potential to be a great hunting dog. He ended up dying because of the way he was neglected when I was gone for 20 years.
Sorry to hear that.
It's alright.
When you picked up that bow and arrow during Penelope's test, how did you know that you would accomplish that and none of the other suitors would?
I just knew because I've been used to I've been skilled in bowsmanship, let's put it that way. And I had the god of Athena, the goddess of warfare on my side. So I had no doubt in my mind that I could pass that test.
Exactly who was Antinous?
Antinous was the suitor of all suitors. He was the smartest, he was the strongest, and he was the next in line for my wife, Penelope. And he had no respect for me, so I didn't approve of him.
When Penelope called the disguised you up, because she didn't know that it was the real you, what made you feel unsure that she lost her love for you?
Well, I just wanted to make sure she felt the same way she did 20 years ago. So, before I revealed my identity, I wanted to see the expression on her face when I told her Odysseus would return. And her facial expressions told me it all and showed me she stayed faithful and still loved me.
After you killed all the suitors and passed Penelope's test, Why did she still not believe that it was you?
Because of all the imposters, basically. A lot of people pretending and trying to convince her they were Odysseus when they really weren't. So she just needed proof.
What did you prove to her?
What our bed was made out of. Something that only me, her, and one of her first servants know. It's made out of silvery leaves, tree, and it's gold and ivory.
Did all this end happily, or was it sad?
Both.
Nonetheless.
Sorry. It was both, though. More happy than sad. Happy because we now know we can spend the rest of our lives together in love, marriage, and as a couple. Sad because we missed our prime flowery years together as a couple, and we'd never get those back.
I'm sorry about that you had to live 20 years away from your wife.
It's alright.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.